Do you know that in Senator Akpabio's house, senators serve him tea?
Well, I don't know.
I am telling you now.
But let me just say.
And I am telling you now. And I told him that you are no longer a governor. These senators are your colleagues. We are not your commissioners. So they cannot serve you tea. So
that kind of emphasizes the point where you say that he's running a personal empire.
He's running a personal empire.
But I mean, some might accuse you of speaking ill. I think
He came, he said he's a Christian like me. I should vote for him to balance the Muslim ticket. And I told him, the testimonies I heard from the people of the 8th Senate wasn't a good one about you. And I told the vice president when the vice president called me to work for you, so I will not work for you. And one day they said there was a meeting in room, in floor 4 of Transcorp Hilton, and they were dashing out $10,000. I told him I'm not collecting the money. Now, after the election, one of these days we were in his house, and we had a lengthy discussion. And he started taking me around the house, and he said, "Do you know that I have a chapel in my house?" I said, "Wow, you have a chapel here." I said, "Let me see." He went and he showed me the chapel. And in the chapel, he told me that, "You know, you are my brother." I said, "Yes." He said, 5 senators will leave the Senate. He said 5. I said, "How did you know?" He said, "I'm the Senate president. I know five senators are leaving." And truth what Akpabio said, 5 of us left.
You had no idea you were one of them.
I was no idea that I was penciled for removal myself. So when I was in the Senate, I traveled to Kenya on a parliamentary assignment. I spent my own money, about $14,000. I submitted paper for reimbursement. They refused to pay me till this very day. Before I was removed, I already obtained Angolan visa to represent the Senate at the IPU conference in Angola. The practice has been, even if you are not a senator or a member of the House of Representatives, as long as you are you are representing the country. In fact, former senators or former members of the House of Reps still represent Nigeria until new people come in and inaugurated. He told me back from the airport. That is Akpabio. My salary for that month, I was moved on the 19th by federal government rule of engagement. After 15th, you'll be paid your full salary. My salary, I was moved on the 19th of October. My salary was not paid for that month on the orders of Akpabio. And let me tell you one worst thing that he did. There are 109 senators. Now, 5 of us were removed. 2 left. Umahi left to become minister for works. Gaidam left to become minister for police affairs. Now, making 7 senators left the National Assembly. Out of the 7 senators who left, Akpabio sent their official cars to their houses. Every senator that was removed from the Senate got their own official vehicles, leaving only Senator Abbo alone. Senator Darlington got his own. The 2 senators from Plateau, the other Senator Ohere, the 4 of us removed by the court, they all got their own. And the 2 that left before me, that I screened them to become ministers, because they come for screening, and then I screened them as a senator. They also got their own car. They left before me, yet they got their own car, leaving me out of the 116 senators sworn into the 10th Assembly. Because I challenged Akpabio, I was the only senator that they refused to give him the car. That is the vindictiveness of somebody called Akpabio.
Well, it sounds very personal, doesn't it? I mean,
of course,
for you, it's pretty much personal. I mean, so this is your payback then, is it?
No. I don't pay back. I am just trying to, I laid a foundation, so that I will come to the Natasha issue.
Well, we're going to come to that. We're not there yet. Let's finish with your allegations and your accusations against Mr. Akpabio, because one of them is that you said he's running the Senate like a personal empire.
Yes.
Targeting senators who oppose his views, and you suggest that you're one of them.
Yes.
And you say that, as I said, you yourself have been a victim of those actions.
Definitely.
And this is one of the incidents, or one of the sort of the problems that you're talking about.
Yes, and then let us look at Senator Abdul-Ningi. Senator Abdul-Ningi was the chairman of the Northern Senators Forum, and I was the treasurer of the Northern Senators Forum. So as the treasurer, as a matter of fact, I was slated to become the secretary of the Northern Senators Forum. But because Abdul-Ningi and Senator Abbo, we are from the Northeast, and we said, let's take this secretary position to another person from another zone. So I became the treasurer of the Northern Senators Forum. And Abdul-Ningi came out to say, this is not the budget that we passed. And it has been increased by so figures. Before you need Jack Robinson, Senator Abdul-Ningi was suspended from the Senate for 3 months. And let's look at Senator Ndume. Ndume was the DG to Akpabio. When Senator Ndume came out to say, things are not run properly here, what happened to him? He was removed as the chief whip of the Senate, stripped of his position as the vice chairman of the Senate Committee on Appropriation, and then be thrown away. What vindictiveness do you want? And now look at it. The same Akpabio, I moved that motion to amend the rule of the Senate standing rule, that will allow only a senator that have served for at least 1 term of 4 years in the Senate before he go contest for leadership of the Senate. The amendment look Senate President only. The same Akpabio went and brought in first-time senators and made them lead the ship of both minority and the majority.
Right.
Just so that he can control them, so that nobody can say it to him. Do you know that in Senator Akpabio's house, senators serve him tea?
Well, I don't know.
I am telling you now.
But let me just say.
And I am telling you now. And I told him that you are no longer a governor. These senators are your colleagues, we are not your commissioners. So they cannot serve you tea. So
that kind of emphasizes the point where you say that he's running a personal empire.
He's running a personal empire.
But I mean, some might accuse you of speaking ill. I think you even addressed this yourself, of an institution that elevated you to prominence.
No, I did not say that. And what I said in my interview last time was that I had to speak ill of the institution that brought me to national relevance. And what we are doing today, remember last time I was in this studio where I defended the remunerations of the senators. So that I'm speaking good of the Senate. And what we are doing now, all former senators that have been there since the time of Shagari, we are not happy with the level of the integrity of the Senate that have been washed down. So,
right. But we're fast running out of time, so I'm going to gallop ahead. Yes. I mean, you, of course, were a member of this current 10th Senate.
Yes.
Until you were removed by the appeals court.
Yes.
In October 2023. Very briefly, just tell us how you lost your senatorial seat.
I lost my senatorial seat through judicial banditry, because there's no law that back what happened. And I believe the judge know what she did. And that's why she had to send Senator Ken Inamani to come to my house to come and beg me. And it's true, Ken Inamani is still alive. A situation where a judge said that local government election took place in 5 local governments, and she cancelled election in 2 local governments, differentiated 2 local governments, cancelled election in 263 polling units, and not order for election as the law stipulated. That is not the law. That is robbery. That is a coup against democracy.
Right. So you think there was political pressure?
Of course, he was pressured, and I said it time upon time.
Right.
And unfortunately, I petitioned the NJC, and NJC became a body that only punished small judges, magistrate and high court judges, but they cannot punish big judges. And that's why I'm supporting the bill. They should dismantle NJC. They are doing nothing. I have letters from the NJC in my hand. They are doing nothing. And I'm advocating for that same bill in the House of Reps, that the NBA should be the one who will discipline judges by passing a vote of no confidence on airing judges.
Right. Now, you yourself, the Senate President, which is the main focus of this, I mean, you said the Senate President had mishandled the Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan sexual harassment allegation affair.
Yes.
How so? Briefly, because we're almost out of time.
Now, briefly, in the 8th Senate, I have the video and I can send it to you. Senator Akpabio had a serious verbal exchange with the Senate President Bukola Saraki over change of Senate seat. He was not suspended. He was not investigated. The matter was handled with maturity. In the case of Natasha, it took a different dimension. Sat like the emperor that he claimed he is, and said the woman shall be suspended for 6 months, withdraw her security, stop payment of her salaries, not to be seen to close the National Assembly building, and even her aides should also lose their salaries. Far-reaching decisions. Even ordering the Inspector General of Police not to provide her with security. In another way, exposing her should be killed. When you withdraw somebody's security, which is on right, that means you are exposing that person to be killed. And I know the IG, you see the police for all of us. Nobody owns the police. The IG realized that that is not a good thing to do. Because if they had more than Natasha is killed, something will happen that we don't pray it happen. Now, if Akpabio was not suspended for fighting with Saraki over change of his seat, why are you suspending Natasha for 6 months? If only your motivation is because of change of seat. Secondly, Natasha went to court and she got a court injunction barring the Senate from investigating her until the substantive matter is heard. Senate went against the court judgment and suspended her still, even when there's an existing court judgment. That is contempt of the court. It was after they finished suspending Natasha that they went to court to vacate the court order barring them after contempt of court. And I'm sorry to use this word, cowardly, the judge, instead of arresting Akpabio for contempt of court, he vacated his own judgment that they broke. That's the pressure he was under. And instead for the judge to also go into the substantive matter, he recused himself from the case of Natasha. You see what is happening?
It certainly raises questions. Let me put it that way, as politely as I can. So what is your advice to Senator Natasha Uduaghan now?
Senator Natasha is doing what she's doing. And I heard that they want to call her. Nobody can call Natasha. take a note and write it down. Nobody can recall Natasha. You see, we are not a banana republic. The idea they will recall her and they went and forged signatures, 250 signatures. Let me give you these figures. The registered voters in Kogi Central.
Very briefly, we've got about a minute left, unfortunately.
The registered voters in Kogi Central is over 500,000 registered voters. Section 69 of the 1999 Constitution said that you must have more than half of registered voters before they recall you. They got 250,000 signatures and submitted to INEC. And the law says that they must have 250,000 plus people who appeared for a referendum to return her. Now look at the 2023 election. The voter turnout on the national scale is just 27%. The vote that Natasha got to the Senate is 54,000. Her opponent, closest one, got 52,000. LP, NNPP, and other people, all the votes of 2023, it's just 106,000. That is representing 22.1%, 21.2%. Now, if the whole vote of Kogi Central for PDP, APC, Labour Party, NNPP is just 21%, that's 106,000. Why will they manufacture a 50% vote? That is over 200,000 people to recall Natasha. It's just to keep her busy. They cannot recall her. My advice to her is that she should continue pressing her own and be sincere, be truthful, and stand firm against dictatorship.
Well, I have to say, of course, you're not free of some of this damaging scandal that you talk about. I mean, because you went through a pretty damaging one when you were in the Senate. I mean, didn't you?
Yes.
You were sort of mired in that controversy when you were captured on video, slapping the owner of an adult toy shop.
It's not so.
In Abuja. I'll make the point and then you can refute it. I mean, you turned up there with 3 women to purchase some adult toys. And you were later found,
of the media.
You were well, I mean, this is what the story that is circulating is.
Yes.
But you're here, you can refute it if you want to. I mean, you were later found guilty by a court and you were ordered to pay 50 million naira to the shop owner.
No, let me tell you what happened. What happened was that before I became a senator, a situation happened. Before I became a senator, something happened. And it was a case of people fought. Some ladies fought, not in an adult shop, but rather a candy shop that's separated into 2.
Right.
At this side, they sell candy for birthdays, the cakes, and the rest of it on one side. On the other side, it was an adult shop for women.
Right.
And I dropped one of my sister with her friend. And when I left, I was told that, I received a call that your sister is dead. I said, died? He said, what happened? They said somebody hit her. I thought maybe it was a car that hit her. I said, did the driver stop? They said, the driver did not stop. It's not a driver, it's a person. I rushed back there and I met a lifeless body who fainted there, assaulted by her fellow person. And it's not the owner of the shop. The person also came there and they had an issue. What happened was that they called off the video where the real assault took place on my own sister. And I met a conscious sister lying down, and they brought up where matter escalated.
Where you lost your temper.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
And we went to court, tried for criminal assault, which is more dangerous than just paying damages here and there or whatever. And we requested for the original video to know what happened. And the judge found me not guilty. However, there's a pressure on government. They want to continue to be taking money from here and there, rest of it. And they said they are suing for damage. What damage? I never appeared in the court. I only heard that there's a case at the Federal High Court where they say they charge me for whatever, so there should be exemplary damage because my name is a senator. I should pay 50,000 naira, 50 million naira for fighting, and I appealed the case. So the matter was before the magistrate court, and I won the case.
Right. Okay, well, that's what you say. The thing that is in the public domain is slightly different.
No,
but
you
see,
you are hearing from me,
right.
and you say you are giving opportunity chance to clear this, and you are hearing from me.
I understand that.
And not also that they say it's a breastfeeding mother, and these are all lies.
Right.
Do you know that a situation whereby they hired a baby, so that the woman will hold a baby, so she's a breastfeeding mother. They borrowed a neighbor's baby and claim to be breastfeeding. And
well,
when this
it all sounds monstrously complicated, and I mean, we can't sort of get too much into it because the other side are not here and all the rest of it. But let me just say this: you mentioned that the Senate. Let's just return to